Most people think of the tear trough as a line, a shadow, a hollow under the eye. But for injectors, it's not enough. The tear trough is not just something we see on the surface. It's a three-dimensional transition zone between the lower eyelid and the cheek. And if we're going to treat this area safely and predictably, we have to understand what is creating that transition underneath. So before we talk about filler, we need to move beneath the surface. The first mistake is treating the tear trough as a surface problem. At the surface, we have skin. Beneath that is the orbicularis, the deeper soft tissue and fat compartments, and then beneath that, the bony foundation, the infraorbital rim, and the maxilla. So when a patient says, I have a hollow here, what they're really seeing may be the final surface expression of multiple deeper structures. That's the point. The tear trough is not one thing. It's a relationship between layers. And one of the most important structures in that relationship is not volume, it's fixation. This is the retaining ligament complex. For teaching purposes, think of it as an anchor. It helps tether soft tissue to deeper anatomy near the infraorbital rim. And this is why the tear trough is not simply a volume loss problem. If the surrounding tissue changes, but this attachment remains relatively fixed, that fixed point can help define the transition between the lower eyelid and the cheek. So if we only think there is a hollow, let's fill the hollow, we miss the more important question. What is tethered? What is mobile? What is changed around it? That is where the injector judgment begins. So let's keep that anchor in mind and look at what's happening as the surrounding support changes. With aging, the structure does not change evenly. Soft tissue support can decrease. Cheek projection can change. The lower eyelid-cheek transition becomes more visible. But the fixed structures still matter. They help determine where the shadow forms, where the tissue catches light, and why this subtle transition becomes a visible tear trough. So again, we're not just treating a line, we're interpreting anatomy. This is where filler enters the discussion, but it has to enter the discussion in the right way. Filler is not simply placed into a line. Filler occupies space. It interacts with the overlying skin, orbicularis, deep soft tissue planes, retaining structures, and bony support. So the better question is not, where is the hollow? The better question is, what anatomy is creating the hollow? What space are we treating? And how does that space relate to the surrounding structures? That is the difference between injecting by pattern and injecting and treating with anatomical judgment. And then there is the anatomy we cannot see from the surface. This is the infraorbital vascular pathway, and this is one of the reasons the tear trough demands respect. It's not about fear, it's about spatial understanding. The filler concept, the retaining structures, the soft tissue layers, the bone, and the vascular pathway all exist in the same anatomical neighborhood. When anatomy is taught only in 2 dimensions, it's easy to underestimate those relationships. But in 3 dimensions, you can see why this area requires careful planning, conservative thinking, and a respect for what lies beneath the surface. Good injection training should not simply teach where to inject, it should teach what to think about before you inject. And that's a larger opportunity. This is the future of anatomy education. Not simply looking at anatomy on a slide, not memorizing landmarks in isolation, but stepping inside the anatomy, seeing relationships, and teaching clinical judgment through space. For aesthetic medicine, that matters. It changes how we understand aging. It changes how we plan treatment. And it changes how we train the next generation of injectors. This is not just a video background. This is a physician-led immersive anatomy platform. And this is the first step inside the tear trough.